With us now is Victor Avila, retired supervisory special agent with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Mr. Avila, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I know you just watched that same report that I did with Ali Bradley. The situation on the border is tough. Now, the war in the Middle East is one of those things that we've been watching, but we also have not been able to take our eyes off of what's happening right here at home. Talk to us about this situation.
Great to be with you, Nick. It really is a cumbersome situation, and I appreciate Ali down there reporting. I just returned from Eagle Pass myself and almost witnessed a drowning myself, and the deaths continue to happen there at the border. But when you talk about Israel, we're talking about national security, and we're talking about terrorism. This is something that I worked when I was stationed in Mexico at the U.S. Embassy there. And I back then was already interviewing these individuals that we call SIA, special interest aliens, coming from special interest countries like Bangladesh, Yemen, Somalia, Iran. And they were already in Mexico because these individuals understand and knew back then that being in Mexico was almost as good as being in the U.S. The big difference here, Nick, is enforcement. We had enforcement back then. It doesn't exist now. Going to Ali's point, the state of Texas is trying to do all that. And I can't believe the irony of this. We're trying to pass laws to prevent people from coming into this country illegally. Well, those laws already exist, but there is no enforcement behind those laws because the Biden administration chooses not to enforce them.
And the situation now with Governor Abbott expected to sign this new bill into law, is it just a Band-Aid, or you think that this could be an effective measure?
It's a Band-Aid. Listen, the state of Texas was already supposed to be arresting people for criminal trespass, and I just stood there with them, Texas DPS, the Florida State Police, National Guard, and we all did the same thing, and that's observed the illegals coming up from the river. I didn't see any enforcement whatsoever of repelling or arresting people under the state criminal trespass violation. So we'll see and wait and see if this new law will actually detain people because remember, like Ali said, there's another attachment to this. Once you take possession of a person, you have the criminal justice system, then the wheels start turning, and we're talking about attorneys, court systems, and everything else that it kicks in. It's not just automatic. And so it's going to be a little bit wait and see here to see how the state of Texas takes on this challenge, because when you have 5, 10, 15 people, it would be easy to do. But when you have thousands coming at one time, that's where the real challenge exists.
And Mr. Avila, talk to us about this video, because we keep going back to this exclusive video that Ali and her crew shot. We're watching people struggle to get through the water. It's not only those who are trying to cross illegally who put themselves in danger. They also put agents in danger.
That's absolutely true. And kudos to our Border Patrol agents who are out there rescuing countless people that you never hear about in the news. And they continue to do it. Like I was there just last week. I witnessed an illegal kind of teenager that was already on the U.S. bank swim out to rescue another, what appeared to be an older lady who got stuck in the river. Now, the Rio Grande River in Spanish, they call it Rio Bravo because it's very aggressive. And sometimes right now the level is higher than it usually is. But those undercurrents are very treacherous and it'll pull people down, even if you're an excellent swimmer. And sometimes they navigate through these areas in the river. They usually don't come across on a straight shot. They usually try to come in a zigzag kind of form through the river to avoid those areas of pockets where they could drown easily. But to my point is, if you wanted to be humanitarian and you wanted to show some compassion, you would secure the border to not put these people in this situation to begin with. It would save their lives. It would save the victimization that they're suffering in Mexico. I talked to them. The Darien Gap used to be the worst part of the treacherous journey. They tell me Mexico is the worst part now because they're dealing not just with the cartels, but the corrupt Mexican government as well. And we really need to secure it and keep people from putting themselves in these situations.
And our agents in danger as well. Mr. Avila, right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.